I'm Casey, and I'm here to tell my story about my battle against brain cancer. So, I'm going to start at the beginning, and then I'm going to catch everyone up to exactly where I am now. About 2 years ago, I'd hit my head while I was working as a barista. I guess I dropped something, and I went to go get it, and I came back up, and I'd hit my head on the really thick metal counters that we had. I don't believe I lost consciousness. I still don't really understand what happened after all of that. But what I do know is I started to have seizures. I had never had a seizure in my life, but I started having seizures. I had a headache every single day. I was really sensitive to light. My memory was a little fuzzy, especially because of the accident. So I had to have an MRI, and the MRI then showed that I had a tumor on my right temporal lobe. So from there, I had to go and find a personal neurologist to kind of help me figure out what I needed to do next. So I was freaking out. I took the closest neurologist who could see me the quickest. Probably wasn't the greatest idea, especially because he was treating me for over a year. And the day he met me, he looks at my MRI and he looks at me and he says, "It's benign. It's a DNET tumor. You could totally tell it's because it looks like this. But yeah, I could tell just by looking at the MRI, it's benign. You're fine. You just need seizure medication." And so I'm not the doctor. I just, okay, yeah, you're probably right. That's great. I'm super excited. It's benign. Now what? And he puts me on seizure medicine. We changed my medicine about 10 to 12 different times because nothing worked. I finally threw my hands up in the air and said, I'm done being a medication dummy. I'm not a guinea pig. I'm a human being, and all these medicines are really messing me up. So I'm tired of medicine. I want answers. So I quit the medication cold turkey, and then in August of 2017, going into September, my parents had to move away to another state, and they told me, and a few days after they told me, I had seizures every day, multiple times a day, all night, every night, and I always knew my seizures were stress-induced, but I never had them like this. So I decided to go and give this doctor one more try. He, of course, told me he wouldn't refer me. He also then told me, here's some more medicine. We're going to try this kind. No, this isn't what I want. There's something wrong. My gut is telling me that there is something more serious going on here, and this doctor is not giving a damn to try and figure out what it is. So I looked at neurosurgeons. I remember Cedars-Sinai was an amazing hospital. I called, I got an appointment, I met my surgeon, and he just looks at me and he says, "You're 22 years old. No, you don't deserve to live like this. We're taking this out of your brain. This should have been taken care of a long time ago." I had to do some testing. I had to do what's called inpatient video EEG monitoring. So you're in the hospital, you have a bunch of electrodes concreted to your scalp, and you have to sit in a hospital bed. You have to sleep deprive yourself. Sometimes you have to stop eating. They want you to have a seizure so they can catch it on camera and they can see exactly where everything is coming from. It is a very exhausting, draining process, but it's definitely in your favor because it's trying to get you answers, and that is what I wanted. So from there, I finished the testing. They knew that they still needed to go in on this side, and they were going to take out my right temporal lobe and my hippocampus and the tumor. They also said that the tumor was benign. They thought for sure that the tumor was going to be a benign brain tumor, but they at least wanted to do something about it. So I did one more test, which is called a WADA test. So it sounds like you're saying water with a New York accent. They make an incision in your upper thigh into your femoral artery, and then they run a catheter while you're awake, you're just numb, and they run a catheter all the way up, and they put this side of my brain to sleep. They did that because your hippocampus is in charge of your memories, and they wanted to make sure that this side wasn't going to be my memory side. They asked me a bunch of questions. What objects did I just show you? What's your name? Stuff like that. I passed with flying colors. And so about a week later, I underwent my craniotomy. It was about 8 hours, apparently. I don't remember anything from it, thank goodness. I just remember waking up and thinking I never even went into surgery. I was asking for my mom and my boyfriend. My mom flew back down to be here for surgery. She said there was no way in hell she could just sit at home and work while her baby girl was having brain surgery. So she was going to be there regardless of what it took. Love her for that. And my boyfriend, he's been there through everything so far, and he's amazing, and I'm the most blessed, most grateful woman in the world. But anyway, so after the surgery, I got sent home about 2 days later. I had to do a lot of physical therapy, a lot of occupational therapy. Most of it was from home, which was really nice and made it easy on me. The hardest thing was when you have seizures, you get your license taken away until you're seizure-free for 6 months. And I just got in a new car, and so it was really hard. I love to drive, so it was really hard having to have people drive me around and being stuck in the house every day. And everybody gets to go off to work, but Casey's stuck in the house. So I always try to stay busy. I did sleep a lot. Brain surgery does make you very tired. And then a few weeks later, on November 28th, 2017, it was time for me to get my stitches out. We go back to Cedars-Sinai. I get escorted in the room, and I ask the nurse, did the pathology ever come back? It was benign, right? Nobody ever told me. And she looked panicked. She's like, nobody's called you? Nobody said anything? No? Okay, I have to get the doctor. I'll be right back. And I look at my boyfriend, and our hearts both just sank. We knew that the news was probably not going to be the greatest. And then in comes 5 doctors, all telling me a bunch of things. I was just completely overwhelmed because the first thing that was said to me is that the tumor came back as a malignant astrocytoma. So that meant that I have brain cancer. Well, every single doctor I saw said that this thing was going to be benign, so you can imagine my shock when I found out that this tumor I fought so hard for to be removed, and I fought so hard for myself, wound up being cancer. So, first of all, I'm so glad I listened to my gut. I'm a huge advocate for that. Always listen to your gut if you feel like something is wrong. But then the next thing I was being told was that not only did I have brain cancer, but the reason I got it is because I live in a place called Simi Valley, and Simi Valley had a facility called Rocketdyne here. Well, they also had the biggest nuclear meltdown in United States history, and nobody knew about it, and it's still never been cleaned up. So the people who live here still are still being affected by it, and my doctor said it's for sure probably why I have cancer, is because I grew up on that side of town. I lived here my whole life. I used the water. I drank the water. So I think it's ridiculous that this still hasn't been cleaned up, because this is affecting thousands of families in this city. You walk down the street and it's casually known that, oh, that person's got cancer too. Oh, hey, you're not alone. Me too. There should not be that many people in one city with cancer. And the worst part is so many of them are children. So it's time that the awareness of this gets out there. It's time that people know what Rocketdyne is and what it is doing to so many people and so many families. It's just awful. And now with me, I'm about to go through all of this again, because I have a piece of my tumor that was left behind during the first surgery. No, I really was not aware of it until recently. And they didn't want to do chemo, they didn't want to do radiation, they just want to sit and watch this tumor. And I can tell something is off with me, something's not right, I don't feel right. I'm advocating for myself once again, because there's still a piece of this thing that doesn't belong in my head. I'm not going to sit by and watch it change me. I'm not going to constantly be anxious about what it's doing. I want to start over. I want to have no cancer. I want a shot to fight. I'm a fighter. I want my chance to fight. And so I'm about to do the EEG monitoring starting on Tuesday. I'm going to post another video then and kind of show everyone what I'm talking about and what it really is and what it looks like. And then after that, I'm probably going to have my second operation. Just depends on what the testing says. Nothing is set in stone as of right now, but My doctors do think that that is the best course of treatment. The biggest risk factor, though, is that I have a 10% chance of paralysis this time because the tumor is wrapped up in some really important blood vessels. So let's hope that those don't get nicked if I have to go back in. I'm scared, especially since I know what to expect this time. That relieves me, but it also makes it a little more fearful because I know what I'm going to feel like when I wake up this time. But anyway, that's where I am now. I also just want to take a moment and thank everybody for the support. Whether you've helped me through my GoFundMe, whether you've been praying for me, sending positive vibes, you've messaged me, you've been a friend to me, anything. I am so, so grateful. I had no idea how loved and how blessed I was until now. So in a sense, this cancer has given me a lot. It's taken a lot from me, but it's also shown me how loved I am, how supported I am, and how so many people can come together to help one person. I am beyond words, and I'm beyond blessed. I just wanted to say thank you to everybody, and thank you for watching my video. Thank you. Bye.